is the final part in the story of the Maniac. So far, Talion's tracked him down to Liflad, where he's looking to build up his own army, overthrow the overlord, and bring about a new peace. But standing in his way is an evil tyrant, who even managed to slay Bagga the Stormbringer. We rejoin the story as Talion looks to recruit more orc captains to the cause. The crazy orcs had heard the Maniac's call. They began arriving in Liflad in droves. If there was a fight to be had, they wanted in. Talion sprints off to investigate whether or not these new crazy orcs can fight.
It's also simple. It's also very simple.
Hurry! It's faster than it looks!
The killer was trying to prove himself by taking on a massive beast. And oh, who's this? He's brought a friend with him, the Ghoul Keeper, also completely deranged. Together they annihilate this Grog almost immediately, with the Ghoul Keeper's poison having a potent effect. But the killer wasn't done there. He wanted more animals' blood on his hands.
Understand? Simple, so simple.
The Caragor dives out of its cage. The Caragor immediately succumbs to the flames from the killer's weapon. Is this enough? Has the killer proved himself? Is he worthy enough to join the Maniac's army? As Talion's thinking, he notices a banner orc appear behind him. Og the Quartermaster, the first orc Talion shamed when he arrived in Liflad. This would be a real test for the killer. The fight doesn't last long, with the Olog delivering massive crushing blows to Og. All it takes is 2 strikes to put him in the sand for good. After that show of strength, there is no doubt in Talion's mind. The killer has a place in the Maniac's army. He then slowly walks off on his own adventure. I actually follow him for about 30 minutes, so let me know in the comments if you want to see that as a video. After the fight, Talion notices an execution taking place nearby.
I still say there's a deal to be made here.
Your death will be bad, but even worse will be watching what I do to your boys.
Seeing the chill now just makes me realize how badass does he look. And it also reminds me, this video is sponsored, and I'm going to use the sponsorship money to get all of the exact same piercings that the chill has got, so I can look exactly like him. And that sponsor is Hero Wars. Now, you might be thinking, Hero Wars, easy game, you pick some heroes, you press a button, and then you win the game. But no, this game actually requires some strategy. These heroes have synergy, which means you don't just pick the strongest heroes to get a guaranteed win. You have to pick heroes that work well together. Is that a goddamn minigun? How can she have a minigun? That doesn't really seem fair. Anyway, some heroes are amazing against tanks. Others counter mages, so building a team can be a real art form. But honestly, that person has a minigun. Surely that beats everything, no? In order to stay on top of your game, you'll need to upgrade your skills wisely, manage your resources carefully, and take all of your enemies' weaknesses into consideration whenever you're building your perfect team. I went into the game thinking that I was absolutely gonna smash every monster that I see, but no, I very much got humbled. I had to completely rethink my strategy in order to beat certain monsters. If you think you've already created your best team, well, it's time to shake things up. Because an amazing new hero known as Peach is now up for grabs. You now have a chance to embark on a new 4-week adventure to uncover this hero's backstory and get an exclusive opportunity to be one of the first players to unlock and upgrade a new Guardian. Peach is available from February 16th for Hero Wars Alliance players exclusively on mobile. So, what are you waiting for? If you're truly ready to test yourself, then download Hero Wars from the link in my description right now. Think it's easy? Well, give it a try for yourself. He decides to intervene, but not before summoning in the Maniac. He could use the practice. Talion's Drake then shoots an almighty fireball, causing the brown orc to flee. I mean, he also was about to be executed, so I would also run away. Right when the Maniac was about to deliver the final blow, he gets interrupted.
Let us not waste time. I've waited long enough.
Apparently the hit actually did connect because the brown is just lying on the floor now. The Maniac then shows off his immense strength by quickly dispatching the chill. Yeah, that was a very weird kill cam. The celebrations then get cut short by another orc's arrival.
I couldn't believe it when I heard it. My blood brother killed by a soft skin. I still don't believe it now that I've seen you. But my blood brother is still dead. And that means I have to kill you.
Pushcrimp the Bloodhound had arrived to avenge his blood brother, who I can only assume we just killed. But I don't know if it was the Chill or the Brown Orc. Honestly, I have no idea. I'd like to think if it was the Brown Orc, he would have arrived during the execution to stop it. But anyway, he doesn't last very long, and that is actually a very cool execution. Can we just admire how cool this sword is? Talion then goes off in search of the killer, who apparently doesn't think he's proven himself enough yet.
Anyone who tries passing us will suffer unimaginable agony.
Ah! A filthy hoglick!
It's also simple. It's also very simple.
Of course this horrible overlord has a hoglick working for him. Even a hoglick that's a noble is still just a hoglick. Look at his disgusting facial hair as well. Ah, of course you're enraged by poison, you coward. Hoglick then uses this rage to down the killer. But all of this just acts as a diversion for Talion to swoop in. Talion's been killing hoglicks for years now. He's learnt their weaknesses. He's learnt that they're deeply, deeply allergic to being stabbed in the neck and head. The killer, absolutely ecstatic to still be alive, runs off to find more innocent animals to kill. Talion summoned his Drake. He'd gotten word that 2 of the orcs that had infiltrated the fort were leading one of the war chiefs to their death. This is actually a mission type that I've never seen before. I've never seen the bodyguard orcs leading the war chief to a remote area to dispatch him.
So there you stand. But not for long, my grave-walking friend.
The sing-a-song will never end.
The singer lands a massive hit to the back of the war chief, taking away pretty much all of his health. He then follows it up with a second blow, lighting the fanatical Olog ablaze. With this war chief now dead, the fortress loses its command of its savage warriors. Well done, lads. What a mess you've made here. Look at his body. It's twitching. My god. With the Overlord's strongest war chief now glitching in the ground, the Maniac thought now would be the best time to strike. He assembled his forces, ready to take over this region once and for all. Talion joined them at the front line. It's time to finally see the Overlord that's caused us so much pain.
So here he is.
If you don't remember, this is the orc that ambushed me, killed Bagga the Stormbringer, and then claimed the throne of Liflad.
Maybe he's in the wrong fort. Seems to me he has unfinished business elsewhere. You need not fear the dark, brothers. But what you will fear is what lies within it, waiting for you.
Let's see what the Maniac has to say to that.
Gonna be tasty.
Yep, that's sort of what I thought an army of crazy orcs would do. Alright lads, let's go have some fun. The army charges in and immediately starts focusing on the front right wall. It looks like the killer Olog ran head first into the hard stone. Poor guy just wanted to help out. With the wall now down, the Maniac's forces flooded in, and Talion took every chance he could to steal a kill. This time on the meat hoarder. Talion hates this overlord and every orc that follows him. With that orc gone, the forces were overwhelmed at this point, and we quickly captured it. But not before this wild Drake just smashed his way in. What an entrance! On to the next point, and Talion takes on Maku the Legendary, knocking him off his Caragor. He quickly closes the gap and hits the poor orc on the floor before he has time to get up. He then notices that one of the war chiefs is trying to run away. He's trying to flee the fight. That's not allowed, mate. He might be running away to try and bring in reinforcements. No way, Talion thinks to himself. Cowards get the axe. The fighting rages on as Talion tries to make his way back to the point. As you can see, a few of the Maniac's orcs are down, but that doesn't stop the mindless and the ghoul lover from dooming the prowler. Clearly the fighting has taken its toll on the Maniac's men. Talion takes the point, and then as we're walking we can see that the ghoul hunter has been down, and it seems like the ghoul he summoned is just kind of guarding over his body. That's quite nice. The killer Olog then collapses due to poisoning. My goodness, these crazy orcs are squishy. On to the next point, and Talion reveals that we have a weaponsmith here and a glut taking on the gorehound. He shoots the barrel and it explodes, covering everything in poison, which Talion takes advantage of, finishing off the gluttonous Olog. He kind of just ignores the death animation. Goodbye, Mr. Gluttonous. With the glut now gone, we easily take the point. Moving on to the next area, it was actually supposed to be ruled by the fanatical, but you guys know what happened to him, so we easily take this point as well. Talion sends the troops forward while he surveys the area on one of the drakes he's captured. Fishcrimp the Tasty meets his end. It's time to dive on into the fight, and Talion immediately takes out this Olog war chief. He takes the point and then gets up two of his war chiefs. With the forces rejuvenated, they move on to take the final point. Talion shoots a barrel of seemingly poison, which explodes everywhere, covering all of the orcs. He then comes face to face with Zuka.
Come on, Ranger, try and get me. I've already thought out 10 moves ahead, and in all of them, you lose!
The fighting starts out with Talion and the Singer taking on Zuka. Luga the Gorehound successfully takes out the weaponsmith. Then it's only a few seconds before Talion's able to finish off the Lucky. A few arrows to the noggin should do it.
He's a fast runner.
With the Maniac's forces now having the upper hand, we were able to take the final point. But because we rushed to take the point, sadly, we lost some of the war chiefs. These deaths only spurred Talion on. Zuka could feel a shift in the fight. He goes to run, but Talion pins his foot. He then hits him with multiple strikes before shattering his body. With the bodyguards and war chiefs all now dead, the fortress was ours, but the lads didn't celebrate. It had taken a lot to get to this moment, but the fight wasn't over yet. Talion was about to come face to face with the orc powerful enough to slay Bagga the Stormbringer.
Let me tell you how this little siege battle ends. The same way our last battle ended. With you dead!
No witty reply this time. He was focused, cold and calculated. Bolg stands up as he sees the Maniac in his doorway. Talion's not fighting this one alone. He quickly fires an arrow into the rushing Olog, before unleashing an onslaught of headshots on Bolg's forces. He dashes in, trying to catch the overlord off guard. What a cocky orc not to have a single bodyguard. Does he think Talion's a joke? That question was soon answered. The punches to the head had left Talion weak. He was only able to just deflect what would have certainly been a death blow.
Just fresh wounds, Pigskin. I got plenty of fight left in me.
As they back away from each other, the Maniac lands a massive blow. Talion then goes on a bit of a rampage, trying to take out all of the grunts in the throne room. Making the fight a 2v1 would certainly be in his favour, but the overlord's persistent. Charging in, Talion only just dashes away in time. He then hits him with a flurry of attacks before kneeing him in the stomach. Together, the two of them work seamlessly to lower the health of the overlord. With the two of them landing multiple strikes on the overlord, cracks began to emerge. They could see his strength fading away, but a dog is most dangerous when it's backed into a corner.
Time to die!
While Talion was finishing off the last grunt, Bolg leaped across the throne room and struck him with both his axes. Talion drops to the floor as the overlord goes in for the final blow. It was Bagga the Stormbringer. He'd come back to save Talion. Honestly, this is the craziest ending to the Maniac story. I didn't even know that I still had Savior turned on at this point.
We have reclaimed what was rightfully ours! Let the Lord of Mordor be warned! Every attack he launches will be met with steel and fury! Every army he sends will be annihilated!
With the tyranny of Bolg over, and Bagga having gotten his revenge, Liflad could now become a sanctuary to all crazy orcs across Mordor. Under the reign of the Maniac Olog, Liflad could thrive once again. Thanks for watching the video, guys. If you like the story, please do like the video. Subscribe, I guess, if you haven't subscribed. I don't know why you'd be at the end of the video if you're not subscribed. And yeah, leave a comment for what you'd like to see next for the Maniac. And thanks again to Hero Wars for sponsoring this video. Use the link in my description now to get your hands on this awesome super chest and this new hero.